Hi, I'm Craig. Welcome to the Treehouse Show. The Treehouse Show is our weekly conversation with the Treehouse community. This episode, we'll be chatting with the purveyor of puns, the one and only, the very first Treehouse teacher, Nick Pettit, live from our office in Orlando, Florida. Thanks for being on the show today, Nick. Can you tell me a little bit about how you got started in technology?
Technology has really been a pervasive part of my life. I kind of live at the intersection of art and technology. So growing up, I was very interested in traditional art. I took piano lessons, and in high school, I went to a high school for the arts and took that further. But in parallel, computers were always kind of there. I remember when I was 5 years old, my dad would come home from work. And we didn't have the internet at home, so, but he had it at work, and so he would download games at work and bring them home on floppy disks. So every day my dad would come home and I'd say, "Dad, did you download any new games today?" And this was the age of like shareware stuff. So I was playing like Commander Keen and nice. Doom, and I think I played like Wolfenstein when I was 5 years old, this was before the ESRB, so it was fine. It's totally okay for kids at the time. And it was through that lens that I saw computers. I saw them as an instrument for expression. And so growing up with my interest in art and sort of seeing the computer as a tool for that, I became interested in creating websites. And, I always kind of wanted to make video games, but that was like too hard for me. And so, I don't know, I guess to answer your question, there was never really a definitive moment where I said, okay, I am interested in technology now. Like, this is my hobby and that's what I'm going to do. And that's what I'm going to do for a career. It just kind of happened. It was the environment I was in, I guess.
Cool. That's awesome, man. What do you teach here at Treehouse?
So at Treehouse, I teach VR development. So we teach how to make virtual reality games and applications. For my first 5 years here, I taught websites and web development. And that is where I got my start in technology. I found that the combination of art and technology was most present for me in the instant gratification of web development. It was just really easy to make websites, and it was a lot of fun. And I liked it because it was interactive, which is kind of a different quality than something like film or books have. There's this added dimension. So the way I think about mediums is in terms of the dimensions of expression, I guess. So if you were to apply that to, say, film, you have this 2D screen, so that's 2 dimensions, and it plays over time. Right. And so that's 3, and maybe you could add in sound, right? But websites and software in general have this added dimension of interactivity, right? There's things that the user can do, and you can take that feedback into account in your corresponding expression. So I did that for a while, and I liked web development because it was kind of the Wild West. There were no best practices, and you could just kind of make it up as you went along. And now virtual reality has taken my interest
for kind of in the same place there, right?
Yeah, because there's no best practices, and really I'm just kind of making it up as I go and trying to follow the trends and predict where things are going to go. So yeah, I teach VR. That's a short answer.
Awesome. Well, I like that progression. That's really cool, man. And what's more interactive than VR, right? I do have an important question. What is something about you that the students won't learn from one of your courses?
One interesting factoid is growing up, I was a child actor from ages 2 to 18.
Okay.
So, but for me, in my mind, that sort of falls into the same realm of artistic expression, right? So at the time, then in the 90s, a lot of the work for an actor was just doing commercials and that sort of thing.
Okay.
So basically anything that wasn't like a Hollywood movie was shot in another market, Florida being one of them at the time. And I mean, that's still true today, but Florida was starting to become this hub for producing television. I mean, this was the age of like Universal Studios and Nickelodeon and all that.
Right.
And a lot of commercials and music videos and things were shot in Florida, specifically Orlando. So yeah, as a child actor, and I guess I don't know, it wasn't something that was like super important to me, which is why like I don't really do it anymore. But those skills are certainly useful in teaching Treehouse courses and being on camera.
Yeah, for sure. Do you have maybe some B-roll we could have from that?
Probably not.
Oh, come on.
I'm not, I'm actually curious if any of that still exists somewhere. I'm sure it's probably on like a VHS tape in my parents' house somewhere.
Okay.
But no, don't have anything handy.
Okay. Cool. Hey, man, I've been hearing that the Orlando office has a pretty awesome VR playground. I was wondering if you could show us that.
Sure thing. So basically, we have what we call a mixed reality setup, or mixed reality studio, I guess you could say. So when you demonstrate VR to other people, it's kind of difficult to get a sense of the space, because typically VR is shown in the same way that you view it in a VR headset. So in third person, you're kind of looking at this, this crazy HMD view, or head-mounted display view, where you're looking all over the place and there's really not any particular focus, and it's very shaky because in real life our heads are very shaky. And in VR, this feels very natural to the person that has a headset on, but for other people, it's really kind of a weird thing to look at. It's weird to look through somebody else's vision. So what we've done is we're using this technique called mixed reality, which uses a green screen in combination with some modified VR software. So we can shoot someone in VR against the green screen, and then we key that out, and then we're able to get a third-person perspective on the action. And the way we do that is by tracking our physical camera in VR so that we have a virtual camera that matches one-to-one. So the virtual camera moves with the physical camera and the movements match, and that's how you get a good key or a good match between the two pieces of footage. So it's cool, but it's also a really great way to demonstrate VR to other people that aren't wearing the VR headset.
That is awesome. Let's see a demo.
Now we can pick up the ball and throw it, and then using the grip buttons on the side of the controller, we can return it to its original position. We can also use the touchpad button to start the clock, and then if we're lucky, we can make some baskets and increase the score counter. So let's put some time on the clock, and let's try to make some baskets. So close. Almost. There's one. Let's see if I can make one more. Nope. All right. Didn't make the buzzer shot. And that's it.
Well, thanks for taking the time today, Nick. I know you got to get back to making those courses, playing those games.
Sure thing. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for watching The Treehouse Show. To get in touch with the show, reach out to me on Twitter or hit us up in the Treehouse community. See you next time.